Hey all, this is Dane Fuchsa, and this is actually the second time I'm recording this video because I essentially went through this video the first time and I forgot to make sure the thing recorded the audio. And as such, it was a completely audio-based video, so we're doing this the second time. I'm going to be doing Julie's store for this sort of let's learn type of heist. And as you can see, experience reduced by 24% because I already played this a few times. And that's what happens when you jump into, a heist several times. The experience gets reduced a whole lot. Oh well, basically I'm going to jump into Julie's site here in Overkill and basically show you the ropes of what this heist is all about. I'll note, by the way, that this heist is basically the same as like Ukrainian Job with a few differences to it. And I'll just basically go from there once this loads. Assuming it decides to load. Might have to cut the recording here for a moment. Alright, there we go. Finally got to the second loading screen, so that's a bit better than being in the first loading screen there. And yeah, it's still taking a little while to load, I guess, so yeah, again, I'm going to cut the recording. Alright, so Julie's store. Julie's store. This is basically a heist where essentially, this is a stealth-oriented heist. They probably want to stealth, but it's also one that you can do loud. I say can, but it's more heavily tilted towards stealth than it is toward doing it loud. I think for something a little bit different this time around, we're going to bring along the Plan B Moscani. This is something that is basically called the poor man's stealth weapon, basically. It has a fairly high concealment value once you have the two mods on it. I'll put that on. And I'll bring over for a silence weapon. Let's bring along the silence Swedish K, or no, I don't want to use that. We're going to use the silence Locomotive. Want a little bit of armor, but not too much. And want an ECM. And for some reason, it seems like my computer is being really busy, so I'm just going to wait a little bit for it to seemingly slow down, and it'll start the heist. Alright, good old slow computer, let's get this started. So, two shotguns. Kind of odd for this heist, I guess, but it's actually not that bad a setup for it. So you'll note that I have a very low concealment for this one. This is actually one that I recommend having a low concealment with. And let's just look around. Alright, looks like a very easy setup thus far. We're just going to go over here. I'm going to check in here. Note the big safe right there. I mean, that big safe in the corner. There's a guard right there. I'm gonna wait for this guard to move. If he comes back here, I'll shoot him. Alright, good. He's coming this way. I'm just gonna mask up here and we're gonna shoot this guy dead with my silence locomotive. Note something about the silence locomotive, by the way, in case you don't know about it. Silence locomotives like to jump people, so this guy actually got bumped a little bit. You want to be very careful using basically shotguns when they're silenced because they can basically ragdoll enemies to locations you may not want them to ragdoll to, like into open doors, or they can be used to bump them out of doors too as well. But it's worth knowing that. We'll pick up a package right here on the couch. Package right there. Okay, we know there's a guard in there, so I want to sort of like try and locate where he is before rushing in. If he's in front of the thing, I don't mind so much. I can basically just, how can I put this? I can just go in there and shoot the guard if he's like, in the front. But for now, let's go in through the door here. We'll get these guys in the ground. Now, a recommendation is that a lot of people do this heist killing all civilians. That's actually a big recommendation, by the way, because it makes this heist a whole lot easier. But that'll rack up a huge cost, basically killing all the civilians, so I don't recommend doing that unless you have, like, you know, a high pool of money, which I actually do, but I'll assume you don't have it for this heist, and try and play it without killing civilians where possible. Okay, you got a civilian coming in here. Now this guy has to die because I don't have any more cable ties, so we're gonna ragdoll him right over here, and I think this is actually outside of the range of the door, so hopefully he's gonna be away from the guard there. So he had to die because I didn't have any cable ties. Basically, if I left him back here, he could call for help if I forgot about him, or, you know, getting back to him in time. So for those reasons, he had to pay or die. Now, the main part about this heist is to note is that in the left-hand corner, you'll note that I have to take out 8 bags of jewelry. And you'll probably find that some of this jewelry is actually in the safe here. So that can make the heist a little bit difficult sometimes. Doesn't always make it difficult, but it can. I'm going to wait for this drill to hopefully finish, and then after that, I'll basically, I guess we'll maybe do this in normal difficulty. Or I may do this again in overkill difficulty, just to sort of show you off what happens when you go loud in this mission, because it is actually kind of difficult to do this mission loud. It's actually really difficult. I'll note, like, for example, there's a vent right there. There's a vent out there. There's a vent in our room. Lots of cloaker spawns basically in the back here, and this is where you're going to be most of this heist. So it's quite, you know, a dangerous heist to sort of do loud. I don't know where... There he is. So he's all the way out there in the lobby. Just minding his own business, that guard. Got about 140 seconds. So big part of this heist will just be waiting for this drill to sort of, you know, go down. So I'll basically cut the video for 2 minutes and I'll be back. Alright, guard's still out there, and we're actually needing a time where... Oh, gotta worry about guys popping in here, I guess. We'll knock him over there. But yeah, again, I couldn't really leave that guy back there. So you note that a lot of guys will possibly be back here, and you have to deal with them. Now note there's 2 jewelry things in here. Sometimes you may have to drill this open to get your loot that you need for this heist. Or else you can't do it, you know, can't win it. You have to get the loot from there. I'm gonna throw that there for now. Now, if the guard comes back here, I might want to shoot him, but... thing is that if he's going to be out there, I'm going to maybe try getting some of his loot up for right now. Let's do a quick check of him to make sure he's not coming back here. He could come back here, and that would be an issue, but he's just going to stand there for now, I guess. So what you want to do, I guess, right here, if you have low enough concealment, is try and take out your loot to the van over there. Just wait for, you know, when there's no civs crossing, that'll see you. Just get the loot. Out. Now you want to get, like, I guess these 2 safe ones, because it gives you a sort of lead on before you have to jump into this heist. There's a civ coming right now, so we're going to hold off on this running out just at the moment. I should shoot that out so I don't have to worry about shooting the guard if I see him there. Guard's still there. Now, at this point, I've got 2 bags out of 8 inside my van. So that's like one of the benefits of having a little stealth for this heist. It's actually one of the few heists where I could come in here with max concealment if I want to. If I had enough players, I probably would. But it's just one of those heists where it's sometimes a little bit simpler just to think about not doing that and just like try and get some of the stuff out where you can. Now, in here is the big chore here, I guess. I basically have a guard in the sort of middle of the room right there. What I want to do here basically is try and down everyone in there and answer the guard's pager and hopefully do so while there's no one walking out in the front. So we're maybe going to go here. I'm going to look around and see if there's any civs coming. There's actually a civ right outside the front door here. And on the other side over there, which is kind of a nuisance, and a guy coming there. So probably not a great time maybe be charging in there. It'd also be nice if the guard actually came to me, which should make it easier for me to deal with him. If he was in the back, I could shoot him and deal with him that way. But since he's not, we'll have to sort of take him out there. So generally at this point, you probably run in here with an ECM and kill everyone with your silenced weapons. It's the main plan that you probably go with, and then you go out and do the same to the street. That'd be the optimal way of doing it, but we'll maybe try not doing that. We'll try dying to civs. So first things first, that guard has to be dealt with. So we're going to just run in here and just down everyone. And do this very quickly before his pager expires and everyone gets up. Yeah, so the optimal thing here would be basically kill all these civs, so you don't have to worry about them calling the police on you. Whoopsie. I'll make sure these guys stay down. Make sure you shout directly at civs, by the way, when you're keeping them down. Let's get these that far at least. Shotguns are probably not the best thing to bring in here because I'm doing splash damage that's hitting these guys. It's a problem. This would probably be a great, by the way, instance where you want to bring Control Freak, if you have access to it. Control Freak would make it very easy to keep these guys all down and suppressed, so we won't have to worry about them getting up and calling for help. I do have an ECM for emergencies, but where possible I want to sort of save it for an emergency, so if you had other players, you basically use it and then just kill everyone probably would be the optimal thing. And I'm not sure there's anything left, so give these guys all a good shout. Don't worry about getting the jewelries if you don't have our players or you're not, killing all the civs, basically. Ugh, I'm getting lag at the worst possible situation. Now, I do have a few seconds, by the way, if one of them starts basically hitting the alarm, to basically get this all done and get into the escape. Ugh. And then basically that's the completion for jewelry store. But yeah, basically there's like a sort of gist of what jewelry stores are about, which is like a stealth attempt. I didn't, purposely try and kill the civilians there. I basically downed most of them by shotting at them, keeping them down. Control freak would work very well to keep them all suppressed. So if you had that perk for a mastermind tree, make use of it, and it's going to be a lot easier. As you can see, the reduction also hits me there. So I got only less than 5,000 experience for doing all this. But oh well. We'll do this again, I think, on very hard difficulty, and I'll try and show you off what happens when we basically do it loud. This will actually be one of the few heists we're going to do it 3 times, I think. Most of these heists have been doing twice, because there's really no need to do them more than, twice. We're going to basically jump in here, I think, with a loud build too. As you can see, reduced by 50%. It's going up and up and up. Now, I also wanted to use very hard here because it also demonstrates something else that's kind of important to sort of note. Kind of. It's not entirely important, but it is important nonetheless. Alright, I'm going to, let's see here. Let's bring the stunner M1014 I've got here. I'm going to bring the para, my improved combined tactile vest, and let's also bring ammo, because I'm going to be shooting a lot in this. So note that in the left-hand corner it says 8 bags. That's very important to note. That's very hard and like overkill. Like the sort of same thing there. And we actually got an optimal setup here. I can basically show off something different. So I want to note that in Ukrainian Job and jewelry stores, this can sometimes happen. There's a cop right there behind that hot dog stand there, and the cop right there. So sometimes there'll be cops at the scene like this, and you sort of have to deal with them. You basically either have to avoid them or kill them or whatnot. And we got a guard over here. We got a guard over on the other side. I was trying to show you off what, some of the different things that you can possibly see when you're trying to stealth this too, before I go loud. So safe's right there again. He's there. There's at least 3 guards there. And nothing again. Okay, so nothing there again. Let's just get this going, I guess. So I would note that you probably would try and do this without... Oh, someone heard that. Well, he was alarmed by it, but he's not answering or anything. Okay, well now he is. Everyone heard that. Okay, I want to do this before the alarm goes off. Get at least 1 or 2 in there. Alright, so notice how that goes really, really fast away, that van there. You'll find that basically you'll do this and then it just goes away really, really fast, the van in your jewelry store on loud difficulty type of thing. So you really don't want this heist to go loud unless, you're purposely trying to get it loud. Okay, let's get this going. So, general strategy right now, I basically got 1 bag out while I could. Because it'll make it a little bit easier getting out all the other bags, because I don't have to get them all out at once. Basically here I want to loot everything, possible. And put it all back here. Keep your civs down so you don't shoot them. Take cover where you need to. Up in those ones. You really need this to keep going on, this drill here, so make sure it keeps going on. Note that I'm able to grab all this before my shield goes completely down because I've got heavier armor than most people as a Tech Forcer. Don't try doing what I did if you don't have the armor for it. Alright, now, once they basically start coming, watch your cloakers, because they'll be dropping from these vents like here. And well, I'm a bad shot. And apparently, he still killed me. So this is where the great thing about bots comes in, right? But yeah, cloakers will spawn and you have to deal with those cloakers. Get this drill going. I should probably go in here and loot this stuff too, while I got the chance, the reprieve. Yeah, it's just Twitch, just lots of cops, we know. I'm fighting them all. So note I'm using basically very explosive rounds here when I'm attacking these guys. It's saying flying and like, you know, stunning them. Not so effective against a cloaker apparently. So that's worth noting. Put that there. So note that I need like 7 more bags. I think we actually only have 6 or so right there. So we actually need to get these 2 in here to actually complete what I needed to get out of here. Stunning guys is very effective with this gun, by the way. Alright. I want to get as much out as possible right now, so we're just going to run what I can out. This is actually one of the worst spots where you can basically find his van. It's actually in a spot where it's really hard to get No, you gotta be kidding me. So yeah, basically worth knowing. High explosive rounds are not very effective against cloakers. But yeah, during the reprieve and the lack of assault, this is when you want to try and get out the jewelry store stuff. Look at them all out there. Okay, I need to... Well, we lost both our bots, I think, which is going to be a nuisance because I needed those guys to keep me off the cloakers, or keep cloakers off of me, rather. I don't stand a chance to try and get them out, so... Basically what I do here is I'm just going to take out this loot, at least out this window here. Oh, well, you see a sort of general gist of how difficult this heist is at this point. Basically, you're trying to get all this loot out, and this is where it's just very hard for this, like, sort of, you know, this heist. You're trying to get all this loot out with all those cops out there basically shooting at you, trying to do so. And there's no real good way of getting the loot out. Get some... Keep this bulldozer stunned. Well, that's worth knowing. Headshots really suck with the explosive rounds. As you can see, I'm learning how to use this gun a little bit. Let that cloaker sit there so I don't have to worry about him. Mark carrying a bag of jewelry, so I was trying to get out where I can. I realized I didn't go in, but I've got to get some of this loot out, and what we're going to do here is just try and get 2 bags out. So it's kind of difficult to get back in there, so we're going to go this way this time. Kill these guys initially over here. Let's run over the street. We know there's a cloaker in there, so I'm just going to go this way. Sally's not close enough to get to. Oh, there's a shield coming now. We're just going to move this up toward the, toward the van. They're all dead. I'll slowly just move these guys out this way. So on overkill, this would be really, really hard to do, which is why I'm doing on very hard possibly here. Whoops. So there's a cloaker behind that door. Or was a cloaker behind that door. He moved, which is actually kind of nice. Because that's actually a bad place for him to be. Oh, it's fun. Now, I don't really mind throwing these out on the street at this point, so... try and get what I can out at this point. And just get onto the street here. And throw grenades over there. Get behind here. We're just gonna get out of here. There's no point trying to. But basically, that's very hard for you. You basically have to move all those bags out. It's much easier, obviously, with more people, but it's still hard to do. And that's a fairly good demonstration of why it's hard to do, just because there's a whole lot of guys to deal with. Now, there is something worth, noting about this heist I think is really special to note. The thing about jewelry heist is that most people don't really do it for like the experience or even for like the gauge packages that you can pick up in here. What people do jewelry heist for is basically the stealth bonus. So I think what I really want to do at this point is just demonstrate the stealth bonus and getting it really, really quick. Because actually this is one of the best heists for getting a stealth bonus on. And it's worth showing off. So what I want to do, we're going to jump into jewelry store one more time on normal difficulty. Just normal difficulty. It's not, hard, very hard, overkill. It's just normal. And you'll notice that at the left hand corner where it says how much bags I have to get, it's only noting I'll have to get a very small number. We want the suit. And I probably want to bring, I don't know, we'll bring this. You want ECM for sure. And let's get this going. Actually, I already said there with his like low opening text. But basically, look at the top left up there. You'll basically say it says free jewelry. On normal difficulty, this is actually something really worth knowing on this heist. You only have to get free bags of jewelry out. It's very, very, different, shall I say, from the, norm of getting 8 on, Overkill or Very Hard. So, it's worth noting. Now, before we actually go into the heist and actually show you off what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make sure that there's nothing special that I've yet to see. There's actually a guy right there. By the way, sometimes this fence can be closed, and then you can't really access this area very well. It didn't really happen in any of these playthroughs yet, but oh well. Alright, so here's what you basically sort of want to do. If there's no guard in here, which I hope there isn't, there's still one right there. So he's going to make things a little bit difficult because he's going to be shooting at me this entire time. But hopefully he'll move away. He seems to be a little bit mobile, this guard, so hopefully he'll move away so I don't have to deal with him. If he goes to the back room, that'd be ideal. Alright, good. So, if possible, you don't want to have any guards in here, because what you're going to do is you're going to mask up right in here. Place an ECM down eventually, before they call for help. And just get 3 bags out as fast as possible. And get them in before stealth breaks. And there's your stealth bonus. So one of the things about this heist is that it's very, very easy to get the stealth bonus, and that's what people like this heist for. They'll go on normal and just jump in for a 10% boost to stealth, and it's very, very easy to do and very quick, and as you can see, painless if you do it right. So I think that's a fairly good preview of Jewelry Store and by relation Ukrainian Job. So I hope you enjoyed. Next time we'll be pushing on to sort of show off the bank heists. Basically I sort of skipped over the bank heists that are basically appearing before Jewelry Store in like Bane's list here. If I go to basically there's these bank heists over here in like Diamond Store and Gold Bank and all this. I skipped off over all this because Jewelry Store is related to Ukrainian Job, but next time we'll be doing all these bank heists. And I'll basically show you off what they're all about. So for now, take care, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys in the bank heist.